Hi, it's Watchlist Wednesday. So today we're going to go on a little quirky tour of the Farmer's Almanac. For those of you not in the United States, you may not have any idea what I'm talking about. So I'm going to tell you. There is a book that comes out every year called the Farmer's Almanac in the United States, and it has come out every year since 1792, and it predicts the weather. It talks about astronomy and how the planets are aligned at certain times of the year. It talks about how your crops might do given historical information and that prediction of weather. There's a lot of history and folklore, and just some interesting stuff even about recipes, like recipes that you should make now because the vegetation in that part of the United States is fresh. So it's a super great book. Has lots of information. It's a little kitschy, right? Because it's sort of old school and super fascinating. And today on farmersalmanac.com, they're talking about summer solstice. So let's talk about the summer solstice, because today in the Northern Hemisphere is the longest day of the year, and in the Southern Hemisphere is the shortest day of the year. Thank you to our friends down under who are giving us a long day. We promise to trade with you in 6-ish months. You're welcome. So summer solstice is this moment when from the earth, as seen from the earth, the sun is hanging directly overhead. And I'm looking over here because I have the exact degrees and I know I'll get it wrong. 23.5 degrees north of the equator. And this imaginary line that we have encircling the globe, known as the Tropic of Cancer, it's literally in making that circle, right? Overhead. So it's a little bit of a tilt. It's not zero, right? So 23.5 degrees. So what happens is this time of year, Northern Hemisphere, you have the longest day of the year, and then it starts to shorten back up as we head toward winter solstice and fall equinox. What's really, really interesting, and I think this is where I would go haywire and hang out on farmersalmanac.com, is that if you look at kind of architecture, human architecture for centuries, it's very much been tied to the sun. So for instance, the pyramids are very much about the summer and the fall and spring equinox. Machu Picchu, Chichen Itza, Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a big deal today. Maybe I should have gone there instead of working. But my favorite of all of these kinds of places is Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. If you've never been to New Mexico, you need to go because it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. I am biased, and also it is one of the most beautiful places in the world. So there is a spot in Chaco Canyon, which is these beautiful red rocks, high desert. You've seen these kinds of things on TV if you've never been to that part of the country or the world. And at exactly summer and winter solstice, the sun shoots straight into this one canyon called the Dagger, and it literally hits the hieroglyphic in the center, and the hieroglyphic is drawn in such a way so that it literally hits right in the center, which just tells you that humanity for centuries has been fascinated and desperately dependent on the sun. So go read about that. If you think about outside of the US, there's lots of these similar kinds of events. Obviously, my lovely friends in Sweden are going to celebrate midsummer, and then they're going to take a vacation for 6 weeks, but which I love about them. And it's a very, very important part of the year in Sweden, and so it's a really big deal. In China, they have this kind of dragon boat ceremony. So there's just so much of our culture that gets tied into how the sun is behaving, and the moon, quite frankly, but the sun is behaving in our annual calendar. So enjoy solstice. Take a cold beverage of your choosing and go sit by a lake or a river or sit in the mountains and watch the day disappear. It's going to be late when it does. So enjoy it. And now we will head to shorter days. We have a while, so that's the good news, is we have a lot of long days ahead of us. But we're on the downward turn now towards fall and winter and cozy, and in London, rain. But today, enjoy summer solstice and check out the Farmer's Almanac, farmersalmanac.com. Oh, also NASA has a bunch of really cool stuff on the summer solstice, so check that out.